I don't get
Podcast.
Oh, hi. They're pointing at me like I'm on the spot. Okay.
You are on the spot because you are the spotlight of today's podcast because you are no longer Ashley Iaconetti, a non-mother. You are now Ashley Iaconetti Haven, a mother of Dawson. Dawson's here.
Mother of Dawson.
Dawson's in the house.
Oh my God. Dawson is in the house. He got changed and a bottle just minutes before getting on the podcast.
Oh,
and
he's so fresh.
Yeah, he put on a Batman onesie for Naz.
He's so cute as I love his face. Okay, I actually need to know everything, even though I know a lot of it, but you are someone
I didn't tell you in detail.
Exactly.
Like everything in detail.
I haven't heard in detail. Since forever I've known you, you've been fascinated by childbirth. Also fascinated.
Because it's my biggest fear.
Also so terrified of it.
Yeah, because you're always curious or interested in your biggest fears. It's like Lauren and ghosts. Like, that's why Lauren got into ghosts.
Yeah, because I was so scared. And tornadoes.
Yeah, that's a throwback.
Oh, I didn't know you were scared of tornadoes.
Well, who's not scared of tornadoes?
I don't know.
They actually look demonic. They do.
Yeah, it's literally Satan twirling around on Earth.
Yeah. Okay, Naz, wait. Did you get tornado warnings in Florida?
In Orlando at my grandmother's, there would be tornado warnings. I don't remember any tornado warnings in South Florida.
Central State.
Yeah. What about you guys? Did you?
Yeah, we used to get
them, but there weren't like a lot of touchdown tornadoes. Like there were like funnels that would come down and not actually like destruct anything. But they're
except
scary.
for that one time. Did we ever tell that one time?
Wait, what one time?
Okay, so we were coming back from the movies.
I think we must have said this.
I'm sorry, but I have to explain. So we're coming back from the mall, and all of a sudden it went from like a normal looking day in Sky to just the windows are open. It was a summer day.
What did we just see? The Hangover?
I don't know. It was the day before I went to grad school. Oh. So if I really wanted to figure it out and people don't really care, I would.
No one gives a shit what movie we saw.
I'll remember it later, Lauren. So all of a sudden the leaves, whatever summer leaves were like falling off the trees. There's just a spinning motion of wind throughout like the car. And it was just dooming. It went from normal to dooming. And we were like, oh my God, like we can't drive in it. We cannot. So we pull over into a neighborhood.
Things are flying around.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was like scary.
Whoa.
Like you're surprised that the tornado wasn't coming down the street we were on.
Wow.
So we were like, we can't drive in this. So we pull over into a neighborhood and we ran up to some random
We just knew
door.
that if we didn't get out of the car, a tree was going to fall on us because we were like in a whole bunch of trees. We're like, a tree's going to fall on us if we don't get out of this car. So we ran into a random house and we were like...
Just knocked on the door and we're like, can we come in? How weird is that?
Wait, that is so unlike the both of you to do.
I know.
We were with
that's so weird.
No, I think I was like the leader of the pack on this. I was like, no, we have to randomly knock on the door.
So what happened?
Anyways,
did the people let you in?
They opened the door and they were so nice. And they were like, oh yeah, our kids go to like Langley too, the high school we went to. And they were like, come on in. It's like, oh, do you know so-and-so? Yeah. And it was actually kind of fine.
Wow.
So, but thank God we went in there because someone died that night.
Oh my God,
someone died in our town. It was a Domino's pizza delivery guy. He was delivering
Someone
pizza.
ordered a pizza in the store when he died.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine if you had ordered that pizza?
I know. So sad.
Oh my! Okay, like every time I tell that story, I get so bummed out.
That's really
but I'm also glad we made the right decision. Anyway, all right, back to more baby.
Tornadoes
things.
are scary.
Lauren's drinking a beer. Lauren drinking a beer or any alcoholic beverage is always just like shocking and kind of like fun for me.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Tornadoes are terrifying. Childbirth is
not
still terrifying to you. We want to know what the verdict is.
Well, I mean, I just had too good of an experience for it to call it like terror. It wasn't terrifying at all. I'm like not traumatized by it at all.
Which gives me so much relief because this was your biggest fear. So to hear that you like went through it fine and feel fine about it. But can you start at like when your water broke and where you were and where Jared was and how it all sort of went down leading up to getting to the hospital?
Okay, well, let me clarify that like it's some people's not biggest fear and it goes horrible and it is traumatic. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just like every person is different, but like also every birth is different. Like next time could be so scary, who knows? But because I delivered him in like it was about 9 hours from like my first contraction. Next time will probably be really fast.
You could have a Jade in the closet.
Like, I could have a Jade because Jade had Emmy in about 7 hours, and then she had Brooks in the closet within an hour.
Wait, why is that though? Can you explain?
Just if you like tend to have fast labor, that's just like a tendency.
So 9 hours
down. It's not a tendency to have a baby as fast as Jade had Brooks, but you
usually go down in the hours of labor for every kid you have.
That's what I was asking. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
And most first time moms, I don't know the sound on this, nor do I have a hand to Google it, but like I think most are in labor for like at least 16 hours, and I was about like 8 to 9. Okay, so I went to the doctors that week. Sorry, Lauren, this is going to be like so boring.
No, I'm still so fascinated. I'm pissed that I couldn't see every moment of it. So
yeah, I want to I want to live through this while you're telling it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I go to the doctors on Thursday just for my weekly checkup, and she checks my cervix, which is like the worst experience of almost the worst experience of like all that last month for me. Okay. I mean, because the last month honestly wasn't that difficult because I wasn't nauseous, because I was able to drink water, and I just felt huge and like it was hard to breathe. So like I know not like really hard to breathe, but like just like I wish I could get a little more oxygen right now,
Right.
So when you get your cervix checked, it's like it's the worst. Well, it's not the worst. Again, it's like all relative, but they like stick 2 fingers up there and they go all the way up to your cervix. So if you ever like have, you're having sex and the guy like hits your cervix, that like you're like ow for a split second, right? I don't know. This is Lauren and I understand this. Maybe it's only a Nike anything.
No, what?
You get that?
Yeah, most people do. I think.
Oh, okay.
You say I feel it in my stomach, and then actually it's quite uncomfortable, and it's your cervix.
Yeah. So imagine that, but like they're pushing at it and like trying to get their fingers through it. So
it's so weird that there's a hole there,
Yeah. So, but my wonderful midwife, shout out to Rebecca Hindman. She is awesome. But she said I was 3 centimeters dilated and I had not felt a thing. So I was like, whoa, 3 centimeters dilated. And I didn't feel that. That's awesome, because a lot of women go into the hospital and they're not even 1 centimeter dilated and they're like contracting in a total pain. So I was like, well, that's a good sign. And
only
she
7 more to go.
Yeah, only 7 more to go.
Yeah.
Maybe I won't feel a couple more centimeters. So then she says, I think I was like, honest, I'll be like super honest. I was so scared of birth that I was going back and forth on whether I'd wanted an elective C-section or to do it vaginally. And I like had like kind of like, I had given myself like a week to decide. And like, even given the week, I could not do it. I was like, I don't know what to do.
I love that you're sharing this, because I think it's like the one thing that you kind of want to know before getting there, right? Day of, like you want to have had that decision, or they tell you to at least think about it so that know.
First, a lot of gynos or OBGYNs won't give you the option. They say you're going vaginally, and if something goes wrong, or if like it's taking forever, you get stuck, then we do the C-section. But like most don't give you the option.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought everybody had the option.
A lot did not. So mine was kind enough to give me that option, and I just couldn't decide. And I don't know why it was so difficult for me. I kept like saying like, we need to have a family meeting on what I'm doing.
It was so like the pros and cons are like pretty equal until she found out that she was already 3 centimeters dilated, and was like, okay, well, this is a no-brainer. Your body's obviously getting ready for him to come out vaginally. So let's just continue on this path.
Yes.
Okay. Really quick though, something revolutionary has entered my life. I have shared with you all that I have had a lot of stomach issues in the past. I get very bloaty, which was the reason why I got a nutritionist 2 years ago, and decided to change. What?
She also calls it bloaty.
Bloaty. I get so bloaty, and it's really honestly discouraging because my stomach is intolerant to a lot of things, and I'm just that hot girl with stomach issues, you know? And I feel like there's so many of us out there that deal with this. So if you're dealing with bloating, digestion issues, or you just don't know why you're like not feeling good, Bloom can help you feel hot year round without the stomach issues. I hate getting bloated. It's horrible. And it's basically a green powder that Bloom has that can help with your bloatiness.
Their greens and superfood powder blend fights bloating, helps digestion, increases natural energy, and keeps your skin glowing. We know that end is going to make you want to buy it because everyone wants glowing skin. Bloom greens are packed with over 50 nutrients, including whole fruits and veggies, fiber, probiotics, antioxidants, and more. And it's all in one easy-to-drink formula.
All you got to do is mix it in with water, order a smoothie, and it comes in 4 delicious flavors. Coconut, my fave, mixed berry, citrus, and original. And right now, Bloom Nutrition is offering our listeners 15% off your purchase of their greens and superfoods blend when you go to bloomnu.com/getit. That is BLOOMNU.com/getit for 15% off your purchase. BloomNew.com/getit for 15% off.
Why did you want to potentially get an elective C-section over?
Okay, so as like somebody, well, one, terrified of it, just like the act of it coming out of my vagina, right? Because that's just insane. Like I'm holding him right now and he's only like a pound heavier than he was when he came out of there. And I still am so confused how that happened.
So cool.
You okay? And then, so yeah, I just was like, if I'm going to have stitches, which 95% of first time moms have tearing of their vagina when they deliver. So I was like, if I'm going to have stitches, wouldn't I rather have stitches on my abdomen? But apparently like it really does take a lot more recovery time in that case than it does with your vagina. They say that vaginas heal very well. It's interesting. Anyway, so yes.
They sure do.
And me hearing that I was 3 centimeters dilated made me feel like, okay, we're going to be brave and just do it the vaginal way.
I like how your eyes are closed by
my eyes.
Yeah, like it's almost like she was feeling it viscerally in that moment.
You're
like here I go.
Here I go.
You're imagining everything you went through.
Here I go again on my own.
I felt like there was something very important I was going to say about just like that decision. But now I am kind of blanking on it.
My mom told me, I don't know if this is true. And I don't know if where did I hear this? I think my mom told me a long time ago that if you have it vaginally, you can eat right after. And so that's why she wanted to do that. I don't know if I just made that up in my head or if that's something I heard in passing.
I actually don't think you did. I don't think.
I mean, I'm sure.
You made up that.
My mom was like, I had to eat right after, and that's why I picked it, I think she did.
You have such an adrenaline rush afterward, you're like not that hungry.
Sorry, what, Lauren?
Just in case something maybe went wrong during the C-section, you'd have to go back in and go under
I think it's more of a recovery thing. I think it's a recovery thing. You're recovering from major abdominal surgery, which I need to reiterate, like that's the big reason they don't do like elective C-sections often is like it's major surgery.
I had surgery there. I don't know if it's considered a C-section, but I had a surgical incision right above my vagine. And
your uterus.
For a week.
You had your uterus open.
Yeah.
So you honestly probably had that experience almost.
Yeah, like it's like almost. I had to learn how to walk. I mean, you're not learning how to walk, but you know what I mean. It's very, you're like bent over. You're like Quasimodo for a week and a half.
Yeah.
And you're like, and it hurts to stand up. It's a whole thing.
Okay. Anyway, so my midwife tells me that I'm probably going to be going into labor within she guessed 48 hours.
And Jared was where?
72 hours. Jared was in Rhode Island. And that's the kind of like what we planned on. We were like, okay, well, if we get any sort of inkling or sign, that is when you're going to get on a plane. So I call him after my appointment, like literally walking to the garage. And I'm like, so Becca just said that I'm 3 centimeters dilated. She thinks I'm going to have the baby within 48 hours. So you gotta get on a plane right now. And legitimately, I was picking Jared up at the airport 4 hours later.
That's so cool.
Good daddy.
Yeah.
Aww.
And
I love watching you burp him. It's so wild. You're a mommy. It's so cool.
This is the most mom imagery is when you burp him.
It is.
Yeah.
That is the most mom graph. Yeah.
Okay, so yes, there's a big snowstorm coming, especially to New England. So we were like, okay, you got to get on the plane tonight. Like you can't take tomorrow morning because tomorrow morning all the flights might be canceled. Right. And that was like legit the case. Mm-hmm. If Jared, maybe he could have gotten on the next morning, but like come Friday afternoon, like it was it.
Wow.
So really
he would have had to drive.
He would have had to drive, and I would have been so worried because it would have been him driving in bad wintry like conditions.
Right.
Yeah.
So 72 hours after my appointment, I'm in bed. Jared always falls asleep a little bit before me. Well, pre-baby. And I was watching Seinfeld, turn it off. I'm in that like twilight sleep. I don't know what the hell they call it, but like, you know, like you're like almost asleep. And all of a sudden, like I felt like I'd say like a quick period cramp.
How were you feeling like when you got off the phone with Jared and you picked him up? Like, how were you feeling then? Were you like really scared or?
No, I was oddly feeling calm.
You were feeling calm because you said you were watching Seinfeld. Yeah. So it seems like you were.
Well, yeah, I was watching Seinfeld 3 days later. But like in general, like even just leaving the doctor's office, I felt calmer, even like
it was because you made the decision for you, and he's like, you know, he's coming and it's already on the way. Like the process has begun.
Like, I kind of like was able to give myself mental preparation. Like it wasn't a total surprise. Like I was like, okay, so I have a warning now.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, because I know people will say like, Ashling is wrong. You can sit at 3 centimeters for a very long time. Some women have done it for like 2 weeks.
No way.
Yes.
Whoa.
The odds are to go like in the favor that I was at. Okay.
Like within 48 hours.
Yeah. Especially like for your first, I think. But it's possible for you to be dilated for quite some time.
Anything is possible, basically.
Yes, basically. Yeah. All right. So then I'm watching Seinfeld. It's like 1 a.m, turn it off, falling asleep, get this bad period cramp. But I was having like light cramping throughout like the weekend. So I wasn't like, oh, that was a contraction. Mm-hmm. I was like, let's see if it happens again in a couple minutes. And it did.
Oh my God. And then that's when you know.
And then I was like, okay, you're going to give yourself one more. And
is that what they tell you to wait for like 3 big ones?
Well, they tell you like to wait at home for a while. But I knew that since I was 3 centimeters, there was going to be no waiting.
Right.
Because like I said, some people go in contracting with just 1 centimeter. So I go, okay, the third one, I'll wake Jared up. So it happens. And I wake Jared up and it's just like, okay, I think it's happening. And he's like, it's happening. He's like, and we just turn the lights on and
I wish this whole thing was fucking recorded on a wall.
I mean, Jared did an okay job recording it at the house.
He did.
Yeah.
I picture like you being so excited to tell him this because it's such a cinematic moment.
I felt like awkward.
And you felt awkward?
Yeah.
What? I would think that you would almost be excited, like you were reciting a line, like it's time.
It's happening. Yeah.
And then I picture Jared.
because I was too nervous to be movie-esque. Because then I got a little nervous.
Right.
I got nervous, but not like the way I thought nervous.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My computer battery is totally gonna die.
It's fine. I also picture Jared getting up and saying just like the sound do 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 do, like just like jumping up and turning on.
I have the bag. Yes.
So I go upstairs and just like pack whatever I did not have packed, like a toothbrush and like face wash and stuff. my dad was like asleep on the couch, and Jared was like, I think it's happening. And then he's like, my dad was like oddly calm about it too. And then my dad called the anesthesiologist who was on call that night, and he was like, just wanted to let you know my daughter's on her way in.
And you will be waking up now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so amazing. That's like first class hospital service.
It was pretty awesome. Then I go in and I tell my mom, and my mom is like so wacky when you wake her up in the middle of the night. And I go, Mom, it's happening. And she goes, what's happening? And then I go, Mom, it's time. She goes, time for what?
Stop. Like, were you laughing so hard?
It was funny until I think my dad was like, all right, goodbye. No, I don't remember how we got Mom up and like realizing.
When I found out that we had this ad, Jared was so excited because it is his favorite clothing brand. And honestly, I'm not saying this because it's one of our ads. It's probably the clothes that I like on him the most, because they have like Henleys, and you know that every guy looks their hottest with like a couple buttons on like a nice well-fitted t-shirt. It is Cuts. We love Cuts. They got tees, hoodies, polos, all the essentials that your guy needs to look sharp.
Ashley, did you notice what I'm wearing right now?
Are you wearing Cuts as a man? You're wearing it because you didn't have a gift. Oh my God, you're wearing a Henley.
I'm wearing the Henley. Fuck yeah, because I love gender conforming dressing, and the Henleys are so comfortable. And I've been walking around in my apartment in it with underwear on, and I feel like Tom Cruise.
Oh, yes. Well, that's probably why I like it, and probably why Jared likes it too. Because
it's exactly why.
Yeah. Lauren, has Hunter enjoyed his?
He was wearing this brand before we even got this as an ad. As a sponsor.
Really?
I'm telling you, it's Hawkeye Central. It's super flattering. I think it's like the only thing Hunter wears, like just like Jared. And I think even when they met each other for the first time, they're both wearing Cuts shirts.
No
way.
Hey,
they go, Cuts. Like, yeah, Cuts.
Like, it sounds like an weird. No, I wish that you guys can know that this is 1000% legitimate. Like, they love this brand. Yeah. Again, it's really high quality. The fabric doesn't shrink, pill, or fade over time in the wash. It's really soft, and like they just look hot, and they look like they smell good in it.
If you want your guy to look hot, definitely try out Cuts. And make your next gift the best gift ever with Cuts clothing. Get 15% off your first order by going to cutsclothing.com/getit. That's Cuts, CUTS, clothing.com/getit for 15% off. The only shirt worth wearing.
Anyway, and then, so literally from getting out of bed to like being in the car, it was like probably 15 minutes.
Wow.
This is like a lot of details, guys.
It is a lot of detail, but I like it.
Are you sure? Okay.
Well, so you know me. I don't know any. I'm such a neophyte in this area. People make fun of me for it, but I love hearing the process.
So we call my midwife, and she said to call her anytime in the middle of the night if that's what happened. So it was like 2 a.m, and I'm calling her. And she kind of said, like, since it's I was thinking that my contractions are probably like 10 minutes apart at that point, which is still like a you can stay home point.
Yeah.
But then that's kind of what she said. She was like, you could probably stay home for like another hour or so if you want. And I was like, I do not want.
I do not want.
She was probably hoping for another hour of sleep, but it's all good. No, I felt so bad, but I seriously was
in that mode. I'd be like, everybody wake up.
Yeah.
No, I literally said to her, like, the first thing when she answered was, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but I'm having contractions.
What time was this again? I forget. 3 a.m. or?
This is like 2. Yeah.
The worst time, basically.
And guys, by the way, like I keep talking about my midwife, like she told me that she was going to be the one that was kind of like to call her. She'd get there first, and then the doctor would come in, like once I was further along.
Cool.
So that's why I keep like referring to my midwife. She actually ended up delivering the baby, but I'll get to that in a little bit. Okay. Actually, before where's my phone? Did I not? Oh yeah, I brought it up. I have got to read a message from her from last year. It's too funny. She says a year ago, I posted a story. I said something like, I want to deliver when I am pregnant. When I am pregnant, keyword. And this was months before I was pregnant. It was actually January 29th, 2001. So just 2 days before
2021.
You guys, I don't know why I'm like that. Why do I make mistakes like that all the time? 2021.
Okay.
So January 29th, 2021, I posted that when I do have a baby, I would like to deliver at the hospital that my dad works at.
Right.
And then Rebecca, my midwife, messages me. Didn't see this until just like a month ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah. She messages me. It goes to my other inbox like most messages do, and I don't see the vast majority of them.
Right.
Especially last year, I never would check at their inbox. Okay. She says this. I'm the midwife nurse practitioner at the office I think your dad would recommend you go to. Dr. Anderson's. We would take great care of you. Feel free to ever reach out if you have any questions. Wait, that is the girl who ended up delivering my child.
Wait, that's so wild.
How weird is that?
I love when that happens.
So weird. Okay.
That's so cool.
Dawson, you're a little yeah, okay. You good? Yeah, you're good. Okay, so where am I at now? I'm in the car. We get there. Jared thinks it's going to be like a movie when we get to the hospital. Like, we get to
that's
the
what
counter,
I was imagining.
And he's like, my wife is in labor.
Yeah.
Where we need a room stat.
Yeah.
We end up getting there. It's so quiet. So there's a separate building basically for women and children. Mm-hmm. And there's nobody in the lobby except us. And there's just one secretary. And she's like, hi, can I have your insurance card? With who's your doctor, blah, blah. It was the calmest thing ever.
Yeah. And you're like, this isn't what it's like in the movies.
Yeah. And I'm starting to feel in pain now. I'm like, okay, these are coming every couple minutes now. So it was starting to go fast. It was going from 10 minutes to just maybe 2 or 3 minutes by the time we got to the hospital, which is only 25 minutes away.
And thank God you left when you did.
Seriously, thank God. So... But again, guys, in the car, it was just bad period. It was maybe bad period cramps. I've had period cramps that were worse than this.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's what I wanted to know.
You had minutes in between, and then it would be 30 seconds of that period cramp sucks, but it's over.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I get into triage, which is the check-in station.
Oh, I love that word. Say it again.
Triage.
What does that stand for? God,
it doesn't stand for it. That's just what it is. It's
they evaluate who is more in danger and who is sicker. So then they say okay, they came in first, but this person's sicker. So they evaluate
and that
who needs help.
place is called triage.
Yes.
Yeah, if I wasn't far along, they would have either kept me down there, or they would have been you go home.
They would take the stabbing patient before the pregnant patient.
I love that word.
Well, I mean, but not in that case. This is
I know.
This is maternity triage.
Yeah, it's
this is for pregnancy. It's who's more further along in this case.
Yeah, to determine where you're at. Okay,
I can't believe I didn't know what that was.
I was in that room when all of a sudden I was getting the sweats. I was super hot.
So you get really sweaty?
Well, it was more if you felt you had a hot flash. You know, when you have bad period cramps, then you get super hot. Mm-hmm. And you feel just you're oh God, somebody give me an ice pack and then a heat pack for my pelvis and whatever.
The human body is astounding.
This is the part. This is the most
machine getting ready, you know?
Yeah.
It's heating up. It's so insane to me. So insane.
But it is. It's heating up and warming up for this.
It's so smart.
So this is the most traumatic part of the entire experience. They're the doctor so-and-so, he'll be in a minute to check your cervix. And I go, what the fuck? Because I've never had a male doctor before go and do anything vaginal on me. Okay. So immediately I was fuck. I don't like that. That makes me feel very uncomfortable. And I was like, of all times now. So there I am contracting, and now I'm uncomfortable because a guy's going to examine me. Aww. And then he walks in and he was like, not necessarily like sunshine and rainbows. My dad was like, you definitely woke that man up from being on call. Like he was asleep and then he had to go check you. And then when he checked, it was just, ow city, the most pain I had
like
been in the entire time.
Or like more of like a cramping, or like what was it like? So we know.
Like just like hitting like a pain button in your body. Like like imagine, I don't know, Lauren, it's like maybe when you got your nipple pierced, but like when you got your nipple pierced and it like just stayed pinched for like an entire minute.
Okay,
like,
I understand.
I don't know. I don't really know how to. This is the one thing about the experience I don't know how to describe the feeling, is getting your cervix checked while you are contracting.
I got it.
Yeah. Was it worse than when you got your cervix checked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Now, is it because of nerves and like awkwardness? Possibly, but probably not, because I was contracting while this was
Didn't
happening.
He say like you're too clenched, you need to relax?
Yeah, he literally said like she's too clenched for me to like see how effaced she is, which I was 5 centimeters and my dad was like, if you're 5 centimeters, doesn't matter how effaced you are in active labor and it's time to go to the delivery room.
But your dad wasn't at the hospital, right? It was just you.
No, but he had to go to work at like he had to get there at 7.
So he was there before he delivered.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Lauren, is your nipple still pierced?
No, I closed them up. They just hurt forever, basically.
Should I get mine pierced or not? Yeah. Is it just super tender? That sounds kind of cool, actually.
I mean, yeah, it was like really cool for a while, but like it did like hurt like pretty much always.
Yeah, okay. That made that decision easy. Okay.
There you go.
Wait, you guys want to see him right now?
Yeah, look at him.
Oh my God.
He is, I fucking love him in that shirt.
I know, I love him in the
This
Batman.
is my favorite Dawson.
He's so
oh
cute.
My
you guys are so
God,
cute.
look at his feet.
Yeah, look how cute you are. Okay.
He's so cute.
I had a shelf full of Nutrafol a couple weeks ago in the salon, and as of today, they're all gone, all sold, because everyone knows how good Nutrafol is. And there's been a lot of studies done recently about COVID hair loss and how people are losing a lot of their hair about a month to 2 months after they've had COVID. It's due to the high fever and how your hair sheds when you have a high fever for a long amount of time.
Whoa.
And really, one of the only things studies have shown is that Nutrafol works with COVID hair loss. So if you guys are suffering for that, I know a lot of people are, 100% try Nutrafol. It's like studies have shown that is the thing that will help you the most.
Wow. Well, I am 100% on Nutrafol. I have been for, I think, about 6 months now. I do have extensions in, but I have them in because I'm waiting for my hair to grow as long as my extensions are. And I will say, like, every time I get them tightened and I look at my natural hair, like, it is getting thicker, it's getting fuller, it's getting longer. I'm getting super excited about it. And so, yeah, guys, you too can grow thicker, healthier hair and support our show by going to Nutrafol.com and use our promo code GETIT. You'll save $15 off your first month subscription. This is their best offer available anywhere, and it's only available to U.S. customers for a limited time. Plus, they have free shipping on every order, so you can get $15 off at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com. Promo code is GETIT for hair as strong as you are.
I just want to say, you can get, this is, Nutrafol is 100% drug free. I just want to put that out there before we go. Nutrafol's ingredients may also help you get a handle on better sleep, stress, and skin, nails, and libido. So it's pretty much all around great for you. Definitely try Nutrafol, promo code GETIT.
Okay, so now that I'm getting wheeled up to the delivery room, it's that moment where you're just like, fuck. You're like, fuck. You're like, fuck everything. I'm so hot. Nobody talk to me. Like Jared is making like dad jokes to like the nurses and trying to make things
they've heard a
awkward.
billion times.
Yeah. It's like,
they're like, oh God, we got a new one. We got a new one, Susan. Just laugh at whatever he says.
All right. So, but then they kept saying that when I was down in triage, they were like, are you going to want the epidural when you get upstairs? And I was like, yes. And then they said that the paperwork has to like go through these certain people in order for the anesthesiologist to come to a room. And it takes about half an hour, they said,
get those going.
By the time the papers are submitted to have him come to the room. And that was the longest like half an hour of my life. And I kept saying like, okay, has the half an hour been up? Have the papers been approved? Have the papers been approved? But it was really, really fast. I threw up, by the way, on the walk from the garage into the hospital. And then I threw up again. Yeah, that one's on camera. But Jared, I say something in it that Jared like didn't think was social media like savvy.
What?
I said something, or he said something, and like he didn't want it to be misinterpreted, so he didn't post it, but he'll send it to you.
Wow, that's very juicy.
It is.
It really is.
It's so really salacious. A throw-up video that cannot be posted.
It's really not juicy. I swear to you.
It's very like, Pam and Tommy of you guys.
Oh, are you watching Pam and Tommy?
Of
Me
course
too. Lauren thinks I'm weird because I love it.
No, I don't think you're weird. The whole nation is watching.
The fuck, it's so oddly nostalgic and amazing. The music.
But Lauren is the one that was obsessed with Tommy. Then he like molested me, and now I'm the one watching it. You were the one who wanted to be Pam.
I think maybe I have hard feelings towards Tommy.
That could be it. But Lily James as Pam, like
she looks more like Pamela Anderson than Pamela Anderson does.
I know. She's even prettier. It's so crazy. Anyway,
she needs to win an award for that. I haven't finished it, but anyway.
I think so too. It's uncanny. It's crazy.
Uncanny.
Okay.
All right, I guess I'll watch it. Everyone likes it.
Also, I keep singing, fun. Ashley, getting to know you, getting to know
all about you.
Wait, does he sing that?
No, remember she plays it for him at the end of like episode 2 or something.
Oh, yeah.
They're watching The King and I. Anyways.
Yes.
I digress.
Okay. So I get up to the delivery room. I throw up in my hands as they're wheeling me in. And I'm just like,
how dramatic of you.
I know. I'm like, this is going the right direction now, isn't it? I'm like, everything's crumbling. This is going to be bad.
Oh, no.
But then it was like 10 minutes later, the anesthesiologist is in the room. And
Dawson.
Hello. And I am a champ with the epidural. I'm like, he's like, everybody's weird about that needle. The needle is nothing.
Really?
The needle is like getting a flu shot.
That is mad controversial because I've heard people say it's the longest needle ever. It's so...
Yeah, apparently it's long. Jared was like, but Jared, who is scared of things like medically, he looked at the needle and he was like, that's the needle that people make a big deal out of? That's not that bad.
Interesting.
And it's in your back, so you don't even have to see it, really.
I didn't see it.
I don't look at any needles that go in me. I never look at a needle.
You never should.
Me neither. Yeah. Me neither.
Well, who looks at that?
So it was no big deal. And legitimately, within 20 minutes, you like don't feel anything. The 20 minutes, I was having conversations about pop culture. We were watching the Kardashians. It was like I wasn't in labor anymore.
Yay for epidurals.
Yay for epidurals.
Yeah. So this is like where I really learned things. There's like a new thing, or not a new thing, but there's a thing that happens that nobody, like not a lot of people talk about, but this is like the exact feeling of what it is. So they tell you that the epidural doesn't take away pain, but it takes away pain, but it doesn't take away pressure. But if it's getting really intense at a certain point, like call them in and like you can ask for more. So I was totally fine for like an hour and a half. And then all of a sudden, like I was getting like insane pressure. And I was like, well, they're like, but is it pain or is it pressure? I'm like, it's pressure, but it's borderline pain. So those are like basically like what what contractions feel like when you have an epidural. So like, that's like how you know there's movement and that you're dilating, but you don't like, it doesn't feel.
What does it like feel like?
But this is what I was leading up to that with. It feels like you're constipated. It feels like you're taking the most massive shit of your life, but it can't come out.
Wow.
And it like you're not getting.
And you feel it in your butthole or in your vagina?
In your butthole.
Whoa.
Okay. You feel it all like, I guess it's like the perineum part. So it's like that space between like your butthole and
the
vagina, and it's like
oh my God, I am so constipated right now. And I kept saying like, I was like, is this normal? I feel like I'm so constipated. I feel like you need to poop so bad. Is this normal? Like, this is normal. But eventually.
And did you feel like you wanted to push your poop out? And that's when you're ready? Okay.
Yes. Okay. So then eventually, like, that pressure evolves into you being like, I'd like to push now. Like, my body wants to like push something out. Like in what I know is comparable, it wants to push out a huge poop, but it's a huge baby.
Right.
So then I end up getting amped up on the epidural a bit, and then I'm fine again. So it's like, that was the most painful part, is like, I felt like I was super duper constipated for like every minute. Like, I'd get a minute off and then I get a minute on. And before you know it, it's like 6:30 a.m. and I'm 10 centimeters dilated. So I literally was ready to start pushing within like 4 hours, which is insane. And then we started, and I didn't really it wasn't like really working very well. They're like, you can probably like, let's like take a break and like let it, simmer for a bit. By this point, my doctor was there. And we just had the most wonderful team of like supportive and encouraging people. Just made me feel so comfortable. Aww. It was like so weird because like you are legitimately in like the most vulnerable and uncomfortable position, but I was like pretty comfortable. Wow. Like kind of like having girl talk.
So many people, so many of my friends that have gone through this have said the same thing. And it's like, shout out to people and like all these nurses and doctors that like just make everyone feel so comfortable, especially like for first time moms.
Yeah.
Lauren, if you did decide to go to the hospital while Ashley was giving labor, you know what you could have been doing in the lobby?
Playing Switchcraft, probably.
Playing our game Switchcraft.
It's the only thing I do when I get that free downtime. It's such a cool game. It's a mobile game with a unique blend of TV-worthy writing, and you choose your own adventure-style kind of narrative in thousands of magical match 3 levels. It's so cool. It's like it's kind of like a movie in a game, and you get it on your phone, and it's highly addicting.
Well, I love it is because, Lauren, the reason why we love it so much is because there's witches in it. And basically you take on this role of a witch at Pendle Hill, which is the world's top academy of witchcraft. And you play your way through hundreds of enchanting match 3 levels. And it basically reveals like this dark and winding mystery story that gets like really exciting. And it all starts with the disappearance of your best friend. And I know how, just we as a public are bizarrely obsessed with true crime. So this game is for you. And basically it's up to you to unravel the mystery of her disappearance using your magical match 3 skills. And I also just want to say I love how diverse it is because they have characters from different cultural backgrounds that are differently abled, and they have LGBTQ plus characters.
Don't forget a little bit of romance at the end of the story. So if you want romance and mystery.
I can't watch a movie or a TV show without a romantic storyline. And this is like the only game that I can think of that has that. So you guys can download Switchcraft for free and unlock the magical mystery. And it's like Jared's sitting there like tired as hell. And he's like, I can't believe I'm just like listening to an I Don't Get It podcast right now.
That's amazing. We were there in spirit.
That's hilarious.
That's literally like what the talk was like.
You're like, I love my Botox, and I just think that Kim deserves better.
Did I not say? Oh yeah.
What were you talking about?
Well, I don't even know, but it was just like, when I was at my most comfortable, it was like talking about like Bachelor and our like the way we got together and stuff like that.
That's so fun.
The show isn't the same anymore.
Yeah. Same combo where we've all have a million times. Mm-hmm. I woke up to a text from Lauren saying like Ashley's in labor, and I was like, and I was so excited.
Basically, like probably had him by the time that you like woke up to that.
Yeah,
text.
Because I'm 3 hours behind, and I wake up at 6. So wait, did you have him by 9:30 a.m.?
No, I had 10:23.
Okay,
so just about time.
So it was like just right around before he came into the world.
Yeah.
And I was like, Aquarius, baby.
Ashley called me at like 2, and like I wasn't like fully aware, like I couldn't come, just like chill in like the lobby or anything. Damn. So I was like, okay, well, I'll get dressed then. And Ashley like, no, you can't even come near the fucking hospital because of COVID. You're only allowed like one person in the room.
That sucks.
So my dreams of watching Ashley push were
but
killed.
it's wait, you can't even sit in the lobby and like get a Snickers from the vending machine like in the
movies.
All I wanted.
I just wanted to get Snickers from the vending machine.
You probably could have gotten the lobby, but you wouldn't have been able to come and ever see me.
So she could have seen you right after, right? Or no?
No.
Yeah, then there would have been no point.
But I'm sure, honestly, if it was a week later, it probably wouldn't have been totally different. They still had like the December, like January policy.
Anyway.
All
right, so then you started pushing. And then he came out of your vagina.
So like the only like little thing that happened, like as far as it not going like 100% smoothly, but like it was the like smoothest you could ever have, was that like I was literally gonna say Lauren and I both have this because Lauren said that she assumes that she has it. Oh, hold on, baby. He just needs to watch. Lauren assumes she has it because she thinks she has the same vagina as me. So I had she said, like my doctor said, like, because like I have an athletic body, which is like so sweet. Like, I did have an athletic body.
She's
before.
Not wrong.
Not totally. She's like, there's like kind of like a muscle that is like very well defined in my vajay.
Whoa.
And Lauren and I think it's because like Lauren, remember how we said that we like always feel like we're
clenching? Yeah.
We like always feel like we're like not 100% relaxed down there.
So you're always doing Kegels. You're flexing.
I am just a Kegel. Yeah.
Wait, you guys have baseline or a Kegel?
Baseline Kegel. If I relax, I feel weird as shit.
Wait, what? What do you mean? Why do you guys have so much pressure down there?
I'm just clenched always.
Wait, should I be doing this?
Yeah, we already had this conversation on the podcast.
You don't remember that, Naz? It was like 2 months ago.
You know, I have the worst memory out of anyone in life.
No. So so I'm like a little bit extra strong down there. So like his head had to like kind of like go like through a tunnel that was like maybe a little tighter than usual. So in order to get his head like under this said muscle, what is going on?
I love that sound. That sound is like it's the happiest sound in the world.
Happy. He was fussy. Okay,
just the sound of an infant.
Okay. So then we had to do some weird maneuvers basically. Like I had to get on my knees and like I had to like kind of like just do like some weird maneuvers with my body. And all this time I've been like so concerned about Jared seeing any shit down there. I'm like trying to cover it up with the sheet the entire time. Then lo and behold, after the whole thing is done, he was like, I saw everything. He's like, that sheet did shit. And I was like, what? Because he said that like even though he stood by my shoulders the entire time.
Yeah.
And the sheet was like over my knees. He was like, because of my height and like perspective, I was able to like see everything, not from like not from a full frontal point of view, but like from a bird's eye view, which is where, full frontal would have been pretty intense. But
why am I going to be like, I'm wondering like, why are we so scared of them seeing that?
I'm not like scared. It's actually personally, I'm sure other women out there.
No, a lot of people feel this way. I wonder how I'm going to feel.
Really? Because Jared, as we've all said, has fainted during two birthing scenes in movie theaters.
Yes, this makes sense.
Vaginal trauma scenes. So I thought that he would, 1, possibly pass out, 2, never see me the same again, because that still might happen. Who knows? We've yet, he that's very far ways right now. And so I just was like, no, he's never looking. And he was like, yeah, I shouldn't look. But then he said like when he was looking, he didn't feel fazed by it at all. Well, he was fazed by it in the sense that like it was his child being born, and that was pretty feeling, but not like in a like, oh my god, this is so gross, I'm gonna faint and like I'm feeling weak sort of way. So that was it. Like pushing the first like half of pushing, and I think I pushed for like an hour and 15 minutes maybe. The first half, I didn't feel anything, couldn't feel my legs, couldn't feel when I was supposed to push. They can see on the monitor like when I'm having a contraction. I don't even know when I'm having a contraction.
So crazy.
So they're like, okay, push now, and you're like, but like you literally don't know.
You're like, is anything happening? Like, yeah.
No, they're counting you down because you're supposed to do 3 10 seconds 3 times. Mm-hmm. And they're like counting you down, and you are just like, and they're like, you're doing great, good job. It's kind of like he's coming. We can see like the movement, and like you have no effing idea.
Wow, that's fantastic.
This is like the best possible experience. Okay,
yeah,
it's not. I feel like it's not often like this. Even my doctor was like, look, you had a very easy breezy experience. Other people are going to be very jealous of you for this. And then, like the second, like 45 minutes of pushing, I felt like the pressure where I was like, oh, okay, it's time for me to push. But like, I didn't feel like uncomfortable, which is unlike the pooping. It was like it was like when you have to poop and you're like, oh, I got to go potty. But it wasn't like, I'm dying on the toilet here. It was just like, okay, you can go now. Mm-hmm. And then he was out.
And then, well, this is the best part. Then how did you feel when they first put him in your arms? What was Jared like? This is what I want to hear.
I know. I was like, we have to get to the after.
Well, this is the part where Jared and I are super honest, and we tell you that like we didn't feel like this mystical like connection. We did not feel this immediate bond, or that we saw heaven or shit like that. Like we did not feel like it was
I love you guys so much.
Jared felt really guilty about that. He was like, this is my son. I was supposed to like feel like this. But his sister and between his sister and then Lauren from 90 Day Fiance, I was pretty prepared to like not necessarily feel like that because there also was like, you know, we bonded with her like the days afterward, but like we didn't feel like this crazy thing when it first happened. She's like, my mom's nuts for like acting as if like she's like saw Heaven's Gates.
You know what's so funny is some people do feel things as soon as it's work. Some people
totally do. So it's just like, it's so normal either way.
Yeah. It's kind of like getting a new puppy where you're like so excited. You knew it was coming, but you don't know it yet. So you're just like, okay, let's figure out how we feel.
This dog?
Yeah. In the next couple days or weeks.
Yeah.
With Lois, I was like, oh my God, she's so cute. And then within hours, I was like, I made a horrible mistake. I did, you know, never gonna feel like this crazy bond with her. She's never gonna be Lucy. Blah, 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 blah. And then like now obsession status, right? So it did not take long for us to feel the connection. It was later that night. You know, we felt like very connected later, especially afterward. Like when we were on our way back from the hospital, we were like, so I feel bad for Lois because we definitely love him more. So
oh shit.
24 hours later. So
wow.
And now they're absolutely obsessed.
Yeah.
And Ashley's such a good mommy.
I know. Wow. How have you been feeling? Just like, because how long has Dawson been in the world now?
It's so easy to do about 25 days.
For the day that this is released, he's been alive for 4 weeks, or he's been alive for a long time, but he's been in the living outside my womb for 4 weeks.
For a month. That's crazy. Do you feel like you are a different person, like biologically? Do you think having a child has like changed you in any way or no?
I think in general, you just feel like way more emotional about everything. Like everything you harder. And you have like sympathy, like just it's like all like sympathy and empathy and like all of that.
You're more patient and like.
Yeah, I definitely. But I feel like I'm more patient with him. Like I have patience with him, but I don't know that I like have patience in general. Like,
right.
I wish I could give you like a nice little dramatic answer, but I don't really feel like...
don't make anything up. I'm curious. Is there anything in postpartum now that like you didn't read about or something that you experienced and maybe you feel like people don't talk about enough or?
I definitely don't think that people talk. I mean, mentally I've been really great. Okay. But I'm also on program. So like,
you're also what? Sorry.
I'm already on what is it, Lauren? Citalopram. So I'm already on an anti-anxiety antidepressant. So so I already feel like that would probably help prevent like any like baby
postpartum depression.
Depression. So I haven't like looked in on whether it does have an effect on like prevention or whatnot, but I think I have a little bit of a safety guard with that. I wish I could talk about the mental side a little bit more. I mean, that sounds ridiculous. I'm blessed to not have that. Mm-hmm. But I do feel like so many women go through it that like, I don't know. I feel like I was like a spokeswoman for people who like went through bad pregnancies. And now I feel like I can't talk on that behalf of like your mental health afterward because I have been quite mentally healthy.
Yeah. Do you feel like really tired and like when you hear him cry in the middle of the night, you don't feel like bothered by it? Or are you like, oh God, I have to get up?
Right.
I feel like you've been really good about that.
Yeah. I think it's when it's your kid, like it doesn't hurt as bad to wake up in the middle of the night. And he's always gone back to sleep. So it's like, okay, well, I'll get up for 45 minutes. I'll lie in bed as I feed him. And then like, I'll go change him.
Yeah.
It's just like not been that bad. And like, he doesn't wake up because he's formula fed and because the snoo, like while we've been in Rhode Island, it's been like every 3.5 hours he's woken up. But like I do one, like, so it's like if Jared or I put him to bed, then like I'll say, do the middle one. And then like Jared will get the morning one and then Jared will stay up and then I'll be able to sleep. So it's just like, we get our sleep disrupted once. It's just not been bad. We've been a team on that. So we're not like super sleep deprived, which helps with the mental component as well. And I mean, just the hardest part for me has probably been this week, just because I've been like alone. I've been like, today I got lonely. Like today I felt lonely for the first like time because Jared's been at work all week.
Yeah.
So I was, oh crap, like it's just like, this is the future of my life for the next however many, who knows, like I'm just going to be alone with these two living beings that can't.
You have to keep everyone alive in that house.
Yeah, you're responsible. Yeah. Well, you have your sister and you have me and we're just not there physically, but there's so many people. But yeah, that makes sense. I'm sure it's isolating being a new mother, I think, especially when the people closest to you don't know what it's like. Mm-hmm. I think that can be really isolating too.
People do, like, I feel like most people do know what it's like. I think it's kind of like, even if we were in an apartment complex right now, I think I would actually feel less alone just because I knew there was like other bodies
people
like
around. Yeah.
In this house, it just feels like, oh wow, like I'm alone.
Mm-hmm. Like if you needed someone immediately, you could literally knock on a neighbor's door, but you can't really.
That's how. Welcome to Naz's world.
Really?
Welcome to Lonely Land. What do you mean? I live in a 2-bedroom by myself.
I have people in the apartment.
I know, like, but I don't know. I have one friend who's a neighbor.
Yeah, I know. No, I know. But like, even at our other place, like I could look out the window and I
see what you mean. There's people. Yeah.
Like, there's like a community around you. Like even if it's that you don't actually socialize in, but like if I wanted to like wrap them up and like go to Starbucks, like I could just wrap them up and like take a walk over to Starbucks and like just get like fixed. And now it's like the only people I can get is like via screens and stuff. And that's the only thing is like today I was like, oh crap, like I actually like feel a sense of loneliness, which I like barely ever feel. But now I always liked living alone. I never felt alone when I was living alone. Mm-hmm. But no, I know.
But now you have like
you
a lot
at the drop of the hat,
right? And you have a lot of responsibility alone.
That's it too. Oh, it's the sense of being stranded.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because like Jared's been taking the SUV and I'm not taking him in the other car. And I don't even like know, like he even really shouldn't be out and about yet.
Right.
So like I'm here. I am here. And like people can just come to me and I cannot escape it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have grandma come over.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And you can go on walks.
I know. We can go on a walk. We don't have the stroller set up yet.
Oh, got it. Okay. So maybe once the stroller's set up and you're like walking
it's also
around.
Brutally cold, Mass.
Oh yeah, it's also fucking freezing everywhere. It's freezing here in LA too. I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah. So and it's just like big to do when like you take them out, you know, obviously. Okay, but back to your question, besides like the mental component, physically, I don't really think people talk about like the recovery time that it takes just for vaginal birth, which is like supposedly fast. They say 2 weeks. It really hit me at 3 weeks that I felt better.
And it takes you forever to poop, right?
Yeah. When did you poop?
It took me 5 days. I think it was like, was it Friday or Saturday? And I had him on Monday. So it took me a while.
Remember, that was the first text I sent you, Ashley. I'm like, have you pooped yet?
I was so scared, but I took a lot of Colace and a lot of Miralax throughout the week. And it really wasn't that different. It really wasn't that hard.
Nice.
You can't get any poop in those stitches, you know?
That's what's scary is like you have to like clean yourself well, but like you also can't.
Yeah.
So like
interesting.
For the first week or so, I would always take a bath right after I poopied.
That's smart. A poopy bath.
Well, that's gross. I would wipe pretty and then I take a bath. But here's something that's also gross. Okay, well, first off, when you have stitches and I had this like a 1st to 2nd degree tear, you like literally can't like walk or shit, like get up from a chair for a long, like for like 2 weeks, you can't walk well. Yeah. And you can for more than like a couple of minutes. Like even now when I'm standing, I can stand for like 20 minutes now.
That's pretty good.
I'm fine. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It really, like there's a quick moment there where it was like, I'm hurting. It's like, oh, and I'm better. It was weird.
Wow.
But that's what a lot of people say happens. And I just keep rambling.
But wait, what about your post bleeding? Like, do you still have to wear a diaper?
I'm going to talk about that too now.
And also, what the hell did the cavemen women do? Like, they just
stitched up. Like, but they didn't stitch up until who knows when they started getting stitched up.
Like, I'm so fascinated by prehistoric childbirth. How did it go down? That's how we got here. They would
just have like open holes between their vagina and their butthole for like
even pre-epidural invention. Like,
yeah. Want to freak yourself out? I did this with Courtney last week. If you just type in like birth through the 1900s, there's an article and it shows you scary ass pictures of delivery. This is delivery when it started to happen in hospitals.
Oh my God.
And it's still terrifying. There was like all these weird things. There was a period of time, like I think it was in the 30s, that they put you to twilight sleep.
What does that mean?
Which means that you were legitimately asleep while giving birth.
Oh my God. How is that even possible?
I don't even know.
Wow.
How that's possible.
Fascinating.
Okay, but like bleeding and peeing and shit. So this was really scary. So they tell you like there's an emergency pull button in your hospital room. So if you're
pull button,
like a button that you like pull it out, like an emergency lever if you start bleeding profusely
after.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And there was a moment that I thought I was going to have to pull it because all of a sudden I get out of bed and like just like a waterfall of fluid is coming out of me. And I'm thinking it's blood. Like it's got to be blood.
Right.
But it ended up being pee. I lost total control of my bladder and I released my entire full ass bladder, which I didn't even know was full, with just standing.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because you were still feeling the effects of the epidural, right? Like, how long does that last?
Yeah, probably. That was probably what it was. But now still, I have the worst. That happened for like 48 hours afterward, was that I'd have like waterfalls of just pee without any control.
Wow.
I could tell myself, you're peeing, stop it. And it could not
and it would
stop.
still just go. Like, you just don't have control over your body. Wow.
Yeah. Like, you'd be like trying to clench it and it would just come through. And that's kind of, I still am sort of having this. And my doctor said that I don't have it like waterfalls. I have like dribbles that are just uncontrollable throughout the day. Like, even if I have like a full bladder in the middle of the night and I pick him up to go change him or whatnot, I'll still have uncontrollable dribbles. Like,
I think that's just what I feel like that's what happens with a lot of women. It just stays.
It's crazy because I actually still have to wear the pads because that is so intense right now.
That's crazy. One of my friends told me that your organs from your insides can potentially come out too.
That's what I thought. I thought I was prolapsing.
I hate prolapses. It doesn't make sense.
It's like, is my bladder prolapsing and gonna come out of my urethra right now? She was like, no,
your whole bladder come out of your urethra.
Bladder.
Yeah. And she was like, a lot of times when like first births are as fast as yours and like everything, like just the pressure, it's like it just boom, like all just happens. That can happen more frequently with your bladder. Wow. So she said it's going to take some time. And I mean, like, it's getting better, but it still scares me that I'm going to be like my mom. Just like,
I was going to say, not a woman who shall not be named has used a pad ever since childbirth.
No way.
Since childbirth.
She always used pads. I've always saw them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But
it's okay.
It is okay. Ashley, do you feel like your love with Jared has like transitioned into like something new?
Transcended into fatherhood.
Love Jared so much more than I ever did. It was very overwhelming the first couple weeks. Like I like had like guilt over it. I was like, I don't deserve you. You're so wonderful. I still don't think no, like, because Jared with the child is the cutest thing you'll ever see in your life. And he's such a good dad. And he's so helpful. I definitely love Jared more than I did beforehand.
And in my head, I'm like, how is this even possible? So that's
I know,
super,
right?
that
sounds like what she's always
cool.
said, but plus baby.
It's like, it's really cool that love can stretch like that. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then bleeding. My bleeding is still happening, but it's kind of like a medium period now. But it was like a day 2 for like quite some time.
Does that happen every day?
Yeah, so I have had like a period for a month now.
Wow.
God, that's supposed to stop.
That doesn't bother me. They say like up to 6 weeks is normal.
Okay.
Do you wear a tamp?
No, you're not allowed to.
You're not allowed to. Figured.
Yeah. So I wear pads now. You wear diapers for like the first 2 weeks, basically.
Bro, the shit we go through as women. Like, what?
No, I think a lot of women bled way more than me, though. I wasn't like that bleedy. Like, again, it was like a period bleed.
Wow.
Whereas they say that like if you're soaking through one of the massive pads, they give you fucking massive ass pads. They're like, if you soak through the pad in an hour, that's alarming.
That's so scary.
It was like, I wasn't soaking through them in like a day. So, yeah. And then they're also saying like some women, they say, like golf ball size clots are when you have, if like you have a clot of blood that big, then you should call us. And it was like, so you're telling me that I could have like a ping pong size ball?
A ping pong size blood ball.
But I didn't have any of that with clotting, so that's also nice.
This is just fascinating. What was the first thing you ate after you gave birth to Dawson?
I don't know, some hospital food. What did I have? Oh, it was Panera. I have Panera.
Oh yeah, that's right. You sent a picture.
Yeah.
That's what you said you were going to eat.
Do you want to talk about how you're not breastfeeding? Because I've had a lot of people be like, oh, thank God. It's so good to know that like someone else is not breastfeeding because it just sounds so much easier and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I think, what led you to that decision? I think it's a good place to start.
I did talk about it already on in an Us Weekly interview, and I didn't like say anything on social media yet. I still haven't. But I got a lot of people reach out to me just from reading the article online saying, you know, thanks for normalizing not breastfeeding and like knowing what's right for you and your child. And it really has been right for me. I mean, I guess I don't know the other way, but I just feel like this whole transition has been so much easier because I've been able to get sleep. I've been able to have Jared help me with the feedings, and it's not all on. I knew that just like how rough pregnancy was on me, that I was like, I just needed to have like my body back. And I knew that me being able to get rest was going to like allow me to be a better mom to him and like be more present and like be more patient and all that. So it's funny because a couple of years ago, if you would have asked me, I would have been like, I'm definitely going to breastfeed. Like, just, yeah, like definitely. And then as time went on and just knowing like the benefits that like formula can give you as far as like a lifestyle, I just was like, I think that's going to be for me, because so many of my friends have like wanted to breastfeed. And then they say that adjusting to that has been the hardest part about motherhood.
Yeah.
It's so hard. Like, it's just like such a challenge, like every day. And like, I'm like, why would, I mean, I know that breastfeeding and like the milk,
the benefits and all that stuff.
So great. Like, it's so great. But
it comes with its challenges.
Well, he's got a great formula, which is called Bobby. And it's like it's like a very clean formula. It's got like, it's like a European, it's European thought on formula, which is what I wanted to do. I mean, I can get into that some other time. But that like oftentimes is just like better for them. It digests easier. But this one is made in America. And I don't know. I just like, I didn't want to like, I had such a challenging pregnancy. I was like, I can't challenge myself physically longer. You know what I mean?
If you can get as much sleep as you can is going to make you so much better. And I think that's like reason enough.
I'm so proud of you as your friend for like standing in your power and knowing what's right for you and doing what's right for you. And you're always someone who just, again, I look up to you so much in this way because you just truly don't care what other people think. And you're someone who, like, if I was in your position with your following and your platform, I think I would even be more self-conscious and hyper aware of what people would think based on any decision I made related to my pregnancy, when it is your body, it is your life. And you're 100% right. I mean, and I'm not saying one way is right or the other. Both ways are right. It's really just whatever's right for you. But having all the friends I have in my life that have had children and are breastfeeding, it's amazing and they love it. But you're right. It's like, that's the reason why you get no sleep. They have to wake up all the time. And I think it is.
And a lot of the babies like don't take to it. You know,
sometimes latching can be an issue too, which can make women feel shame, which makes me sad.
It can make them also like they're not creating enough milk, you know, and then they bad about themselves for that, and then the baby's not getting all the food it needs. So then they're substituting with formula and like doing both, and then it's
funny because society really equates a woman's worth with her ability to bear children or have children, I think. And I think that's why, I mean, I tell you guys all the time, I have endometriosis, fibroids, like infertility is such a fear of mine. I've never seen The Handmaid's Tale for that reason. I've seen like 2 episodes. I think it's almost like too real for me. I don't want to think any less of myself when when my time comes around, if I'm like struggling or can't, you know? And I think it's like really fucking brave that you're just like, I don't care what people are going to say. I'm just going to do what I want to do.
Don't give me too much credit, because like I said, I have not said it on social media yet, because but I will.
But you said it publicly already.
But I do want to speak to so many of the women who either decide to go with formula right off the bat, or like a couple weeks in decide to go into formula because it's like going to help them and their baby. Because so many women like try and they feel shame when they give up too easily, or, you know, they give up what they think is too easily. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but I am scared to put it out on social media because of all the opinions and, you know, and all like, I'm going to get backlash for sure. I've already gotten a couple comments being like, Ashley, please breastfeed your child. It's just like, it's so much better for him. Like, I've gotten a couple of those comments from people who have read the article, and it's just like,
but what I'm saying is you're brave in the sense where you didn't base a decision about your life and your body because you were in fear of what someone you don't know would say. That's
if
what I mean.
If you said it publicly or not, you still made the decision.
You made the decision and you're like, this is what I'm going with. Because I would argue that a lot of people make decisions in life just based on like public persona or how other people, just even in their close circle, would think of them, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I think is really cool, is you just did what Ashley wanted to do.
Oh, well, thanks. I mean, my close circle also includes my mom, who didn't breastfeed us, Jared's mom, who didn't breastfeed him, and Shannon, my sister-in-law, who is also not breastfeeding her baby now. And, you know, in a community that doesn't shame.
Yeah. But it might have made the decision a little easier for you.
Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm. So, any final things? How's Dustin doing? He's a cutie patootie and a handsome boy.
I think he's been up for like an hour. This is apparently the week that he starts being up for like an hour at a time.
That's a good boy,
Dustin. Yeah, I can't wait till like 2 more months go by where we start really seeing his personality and like his face starts changing. They get so fun at like 3-4 months.
Yeah.
I know, when he starts smiling and like,
and he's like, and they make like more like, noises.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
When are you gonna come and visit?
That's a great question. Maybe at like 3-4 months, maybe like May.
Okay,
sounds good.
Okay, sounds good. You can come before that too, then.
I'll try.
She's like, all of the people can come visit whenever they want.
I just feel like it's weird that like I just like this is, you got to see him with the baby.
No, I want to. I love that you even asked me that, because I guess I would assume as a mother, it's like you want like no one in your house, kind of. You just like want to do your own thing, you know?
No. I actually thought I would want like time just to like settle, especially because it's a new house.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, you can come now. I mean, because you wouldn't judge the house for not being done.
No.
If you have
only internally. I'm just fucking with you.
For the decor choices.
Just kidding. I already saw a chandelier I didn't like in a frame.
Oh, she already bought another one because I told her it's fucking ugly.
Yeah, Ashley, that needs to come down.
Yeah. Ashley and her chandelier. She has a new one ready to go. We just need an installator.
She thinks she's in the West Wing of Beauty and the Beast's castle.
My dad come and help me.
I'll come help you. I'll come order stuff from CB2 from your living room.
Right?
It's my dream.
She already has a light fixture. She needs to go up.
What did I have to tell you guys?
TaskRabbit. Okay, I need a TaskRabbit here.
But not with the lowest. The lowest will bite their
You don't need a TaskRabbit. That's what having a husband's for. Remember?
Yeah, my husband doesn't come home from work until past his awake hours. So then he comes home and then he just falls asleep on the couch. And then I'm like, okay. So I'll see you tomorrow morning when you leave, and then you come back, and then you sleep on the couch.
This is all temporary. You guys just opened a coffee shop. You have a newborn. Like, it won't always be this way, you know?
Yeah, I know. Well, it was nice having.
Newborn.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to
All right. That's the birth story.
That is
the TLC birth story.
I love it.
All right. Now you guys can hit end, and then you can look at Dawson one more time.
Okay. All right. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening.
Guys.
We love you.
Bye.
If you want to be the most interesting person at the cocktail party, well, hop on over and listen to the Brain Candy podcast.
Our award-winning content will have you laughing while you're learning.
We read all the best articles, books, and studies and keep up with new TV shows, documentaries, and pop culture. And then we cram it all into 2 shows a week.
Conspiracy theories, cannibal rabbits, unsolved mysteries, the history of the Walkman. There's something for everyone.
The Brain Candy podcast. Find our link in the show notes.
Or simply search for the Brain Candy podcast on your podcast app.
I don't get it.
Podcast.